Hi, welcome to another episode of We Didn't Start the Fire, Life Lessons from the Book of Joel. Of course, that means Billy Joel. And we're talking about some of the things that we learn from the songs of Billy Joel, about him, about his life, and then what it means to our life, and more importantly, what it means in our walk with God. All of that comes into play in this series. And so if you're a music fan, you probably like this series. You even like it better because I'm not singing the songs, and yes, you're welcome. And in this particular episode, we're talking about what probably is the iconic all-time great song that most people think of when they think of Billy Joel. And of course, I'm talking about Piano Man. Piano Man is that song that probably encapsulates Billy Joel's life in some ways, maybe as much as any other song he's ever written. It was inspired by Billy Joel's life experiences playing at the Executive Room, which is a piano bar in Los Angeles. He worked there for months back in 1972, maybe nearly a year after his first studio album, Cold Spring Harbor, had tanked. He'd released it, it had bottomed out, it had flopped. The characters in the song are based upon real people that Joel encountered while working at the Executive Room. Now, I'm assuming if you're watching this, you're probably familiar with the song. The waitress practicing politics, her real name and real life is Elizabeth Weber. She ended up becoming Billy Joel's first wife when he married her in 1973. They were divorced in 1982. Joel played there in the bar under the name Bill Martin, which explains why the patrons would call him Bill. Martin is his middle name. Joel recalled to the Metro newspaper in 2006 about his days playing in the Executive Room. He said, "It was a gig that I did for months just to pay the rent. I was living in LA. I was trying to get out of a bad record contract I signed. I worked under an assumed name, the piano stylings of Bill Martin. And I just kind of winged my way through it. I had no idea when I wrote it the song would become so popular. It's like a karaoke favorite now. The melody really isn't very good. It's very repetitious. The lyrics are more like limericks, and I was shocked and embarrassed when it became a hit. But my songs," Billy Joel says, "are like kids. And I look back at that song and I think, hey, this kid, he's done pretty well." And indeed, this kid has. Regarding the limerick statement, Joel points out that it's best heard in the following verse, which if you read it at the right pace, it does sound like a limerick. "Now John at the bar is a friend of mine, and he gets me my drinks for free, but he's quick with a joke, light up a smoke when there's some place that he'd rather be." And it's the first song in the title track to the album that ultimately would become Billy Joel's breakthrough album. He released it after signing with Columbia Records, but also what many people don't know is that because of that contract that he had signed for that first album, Cold Spring Harbor, he was forced to pay royalties to Family Records, the original producer of that first album, for years after signing the deal with Columbia. Columbia was better distribution, better representation, and a better quality album, but to get there, Joel had to keep paying the original contract that he had signed way back when. The song itself, it's kind of like a waltz in 3/4 time. Other songs have used the same type of rhythm, the time signature. "Kiss from a Rose" by Seal. "A Little Help from My Friends" by Joe Cocker. All of those songs kind of play into that same type of cadence. The line that comes along in the song, "Paul is a real estate novelist," was about a real-life real estate broker who was a regular at the bar, who claimed to be working on a novel, but Billy Joel said later he never finished the book because he spent too much time at the bar. The harmonica part was inspired by Bob Dylan. Dylan was the first person he ever saw use a strap around his neck and play the harmonica so he could play the instrument at the same time he was playing something else. And so Billy Joel had kind of incorporated that in. He also commented on the song by saying, "I think it's a decent song. It doesn't really change too much. The instrument is obviously the piano. But it gets really boring if you're playing it because you're playing the same thing over and over and over and over again, and yet people love the song." Originally, the song ran at 5 minutes and 37 seconds, which was way too long, so they had to cut it back to 4 minutes and 30 to make sure that it was attractive to radio stations. The lyric and the line, he's talking with Davy, who's still in the Navy and probably will be for life. They were inspired by the man by the name of David Heinz. David Heinz's daughter said one time that he met Billy Joel at a pub in Spain in 1972 while he was in the Navy. He was married while he was in the Navy. They had 3 children. He passed away in 2003 of ALS, and one of the lines that often gets cut from the song, or the verses that gets cut from the song to get it to the airplay that they would need for radio, is that line that he's talking to Davy, who's still in the Navy and probably will be for life. For Davy's family, the Heinz family, they are heartbroken when they hear the lines inspired by their father cut from the song. They hate it when they leave that part out. See, the song connects with people, so much so that Weird Al Yankovic did a parody of it. And you know that you're a winner when Weird Al does a parody. He does a song that he calls Ode to a Superhero, where he says, "Sling us a web, you're the Spider-Man," as only Weird Al can do. But Piano Man really is a song, if it's about anything else, it's about meeting people who are going through real life, doing real life in various careers and jobs, who bring to them at any given moment a lifetime of baggage and experiences that connect just long enough to hear a soundtrack that will keep them moving forward in life. See, in our walk of life, God, I think, takes us through a number of places and gives us the opportunity, not as a piano player playing in a piano bar, but as people who are moving through life that allow our lives to intersect with the lives of others. We hear their stories, we meet them, we catch them at their point of need. The real question that we have to ask is, are they different because they have heard us? And are they different because they've heard the song that we live by? And are they different because of the song that we sing, if you will? See, and We Didn't Start the Fire, we're taking that idea that when it's all over with, will our lives make a difference, which is the theme of We Didn't Start the Fire. And so as we look back on the history of our lives, the people and the places that we've met along the way, are we inspiring them to do something different? Are their lives better because they've heard the song that we live by? Are they different because they know that we're followers of Jesus? And because we're followers, their world becomes a different place, a better place. That line in the Piano Man that says that the owner knows that it's me that they're coming to see, to forget about life for a while, is a reminder that for them, the Piano Man and the piano bar was an oasis where they could forget about life and the problems of life for just a minute, and then be able to move back in with a level of success. And I think that for us, one of the things that we can take that and kind of stretch that just a little bit is realize that we, as followers of God, become an oasis for people in life sometimes. And they're not better because of us, but they're better because they have run into us and because of our connection with Jesus. That gives us the ability to inspire them in a supernatural way to go out and live life differently. And so, hopefully, along the way, you will meet an assortment of characters and people whose lives will be forever changed because they know you. And if they do, then you will be connecting to this song that is a part of Billy Joel's life that he can't get away from, often the encore that he will sing in concert. But for us, it's a reminder that the people that God places in our life is not an accident. And we have a responsibility for making their lives just a little bit better along the way. So, play Piano Man, I guess. But whatever you do, make a difference in someone else's life. That's what we read in the book of Joel. That's what reminds us of our call of God in our life. And that's what I want to share with you today. Until next time, keep making sure that you make the world a better place.